Welcome viewers, today I'm going to be going over how to get IndustrialCraft and ThaumCraft 2 up and running at the same time. Someone on my Facebook fan page actually asked me to make this video, so here it is. Messaging me on other websites other than YouTube really is the best way to get me to actually reply, as I get far less messages there. So first off, you just want to install or download ModLoader, the Forge recommended client, IndustrialCraft, and then ThaumCraft 2 down here. Alright, here we go. I've got my .minecraft up and running here, and just a folder with everything that I've downloaded on the left. Now what you want to do is open up your bin folder and open up Minecraft. Now straight away you can look for the folder called meta-inf, although if you're on Mac this will be slightly different than what I'm saying. You basically just want to find it and delete it. I don't actually have it here, but that's not the point. Our folders will look slightly different as mine is pre-modded. Now, once you've done that, all you want to do is open up ModLoader, select it all, and drag it in, making sure not to actually put it in a folder, just put it on top of one of the class files, and they'll all go in, press OK, and everything will be fine. It's best to use 7-zip or WinRAR, something like that. Using something else, you might have to extract folders, drag things in, recompile the archive. This is much simpler. Just open it up, drag and drop. Then you want to grab the Forge and do exactly the same thing. Select all, drag in, press OK. Now that you've done that, your jar is ready. Now if you're using other mods, you might have to use different things to actually put it into the jar. That was not explained properly. You might have to put more things into the jar to actually get it working. Say if you want Mistcraft, you're going to have to put that in the jar as well. But you want to always make sure to put ModLoader and Forge in first, unless your mod specifically says not to. I haven't come across any that have, but just in case I want to cover all bases, just try and follow the instructions that are in the thread. Now we have ThaumCraft and IndustrialCraft. Now you won't be able to put these into any folder just yet. What you're going to have to do is run Minecraft just once, with the ModLoader and Forge in there, so it actually creates all of the correct folders. Once it has, you'll notice you'll have a mods folder and possibly a config. Now what you want to do is open up your mods folder. Make sure it's completely clean and not full of all your old files like I just did there, and simply cut and paste it in. Now you're probably going to have trouble at this point because these two mods do have conflicting IDs. Now if you're installing heaps of mods like I do, like around 100, then you're going to get into some serious problems where the config files aren't even created. And you need those config files so you can change the IDs to actually make the mods compatible. Now one way to fix that is pretty simple. Only install one mod at a time. And what I mean by this is actually put IndustrialCraft in, run Minecraft. I recommend you actually run it completely, actually go into single player, load a world fully up, and then just go ahead and get rid of IndustrialCraft. Although this is really just when you're installing heaps of mods. It should be fine to actually put both of them straight in, straight away. It should still create the config files, but just in case, I'm putting them in one at a time and then loading up Minecraft. Now you can place all of the mods in, like I have, head back to your .minecraft and go into your config folder. Whoa, I've got way too many configs. Sorry about that viewers, this should be much closer to what you'll actually see. All of these config files which you can't open unless you've set it up beforehand. So in order to open them, you have to right click, go open with, or maybe just open depending on how much you've actually dealt with config files before. You might get something like this or something completely different. The whole point is that you need to get to a select program screen and then select something like Notepad, Notepad++, WordPad, Word, doesn't really matter. I recommend Notepad++ if you're on Windows, but I'll be just using Notepad this time. So now we can see that all the files are now openable because they've got that little bit of icon, and then you just need to make sure that the IDs are all different. This is a good time to go over that the mod underscore and then mod name files are almost never the config files you're looking for, although sometimes they actually are. So it gets a little bit complicated. You have to find the right config. Sometimes it'll be this one or this one. It could be the mod underscore. It might even be in another folder. Sometimes it puts it here, Sometimes mods actually create their own folders, and sometimes the configs are even in the mods folder themselves. You have to search for them, unfortunately, but it's pretty obvious once you find the one you're looking for, because it'll be absolutely full of data. Now, there is a couple ways to do this, some much easier than others, but simply put, you just need to make sure that none of them are overlapping. So you can do this by hand, checking which one's which, but of course that is not the simplest way to go about it. Okay, I'm sure a lot of you will catch the few mistakes I made during that, but they're not really important. It gave me a chance to show you this. Sometimes the actual right config file will be created, but none of the blocks will actually be listed, none of the items, and that means you can't change the IDs and actually get things to work. The fix to this is exactly what I showed you before. Just install one mod at a time and it will create the config file completely. But this is one of the errors you might come across that cannot be fixed if you don't know what I just showed you before. Oh yes, I should mention that if you are on Mac, I believe that it's these files that you have to delete, but I cannot be sure. I know on Mac there are different files here. I believe they're .mojangs or something, but I can't check this because I'm not on Mac. You might want to look up a different guide. Now, one of the easiest ways to actually figure out what IDs you can use is to use not enough items. I can't praise this mod enough. What it can do is on the right, I can't show you this right now, but it'll show you all the items that you've got, and if you set a setting in the bottom left to show IDs and show not used IDs, it can actually show you what IDs you have free and therefore what you can change these values to. It even has an option to print an ID list, so it'll just give you a text document where you can just read them out and change the values. Anyway, viewers, I hope this helped. I wanted to make it a more generic kind of help yourself kind of video instead of just giving out the IDs, but I hoped it helped enough that you can get into modding yourself and do all this kind of stuff yourself. Now, if it wasn't enough and you just want the files, it will be released soon when I actually do update to the new ThaumCraft. For now, my IDs wouldn't match and would probably crash your game, so I won't give that out just yet. Anyway, viewers, I hope you've enjoyed, I hope it's helped. StrayMav signing off.